You are listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne.
Hello.
It's Niall.
Howdy.
And it's me running on fumes, Brian. Hopefully not so low on fumes that I throw up mid-podcast.
Fingers crossed.
It would make
what? I'll never tell.
No, make it more exciting. Probably need to get a new microphone. We're talking anime that airs the week of May the 10th to May the 16th, 2025. Starting with YAIBA episode 6, Bat Guy suddenly appears.
That's the most afterthought title. Bat Guy suddenly appears.
They can't go with Batman.
Writer's room, get to work on this shit.
And it's weird that they're clearly saying he's clearly saying Bat Guy throughout the episode, but they changed it to Mr. Bat in the subtitles. But they kept it as Bat Guy in the title.
It's because every other demonic lord has Mr. in their title.
True.
Except for the Snake, who isn't called Mr. Snake, even though from now on they constantly refer to him Mr. Snake died because his name is dumb as shit.
What about his long stupid name? So that's not like it's
no
not
one wants to call him that, including the currently alive demon lord.
That feels like Go Shirayama phone saying, I gotta come up with long spins for all of these. Nah. 2 is enough. 2 is my limit. I'm bored now.
I think we forgot to mention Mr. Slug last week. He's back this week though as Mr. Snail.
He's very forgettable in the thing. The point is he's defeated immediately by background shit happening. And in this one time they're just like, well, let's just get the fucking salt on this cunt. But this time he's a snail, so he's a completely different guy. But he's completely defenseless once he goes into his shell.
I mean, it's gotta cut your ass like all the other demons then.
Yeah. But Bat Guy's a little tougher. He turns half the team into vampires, and so they've got to be chased all around town. It's bad that this is a travelogue, and I can't remember which town they're in.
Nagoya. Let's go to Nagoya Castle and get some miso kushikatsu. Yum yum.
Yeah, they have at least one place and one local dish that you can try, so it does work.
And the main dragon fruit has a very architecturally interesting kind of conical building there. Fun saying, is this your hometown? Wow.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of architecture, is it the first episode where our heroes have watched the fucking news and see that Japan has been taken over by demons? They're like, holy shit! We should probably stop dicking around.
It's not like he's fucking he's like slaughtering people in the street and saying he's making out his own merchandise, and trying to sway public image to his side. You gotta stop him.
Yeah, they actually they come across like the novelty dango or whatever, like demon shaped fucking sweets that are on sale rather than watching the news. That's how they fucking discovered that the world is overrun with demons. I mean, besides demons attacking them, that they've taken over the government is the thing.
Typical government policy: just do something to look busy, but that doesn't actually help anybody.
I'll give it to Mr. Spider. At least he's a good PR man. I assume he's going to be crap in a fight.
So yeah, it's up to the animals to provide a lot of the help in this episode.
Initially, I do like the initial problem of it's like this guy's coming at you with his sword. The Bat Guy, I want to call him Mr. Bat. But he can turn around mid fucking dive because he can fly. So yeah, but the solution is I'll attach the vulture to the back of my back, and most of the time it's going to keep its head tucked in, which is just makes me look really cool.
There's a nice fucking super robot gatai kind of
yes,
like putting the fucking jet scrander on this or something.
Of claws grabbing a child and of a child tying himself onto a bird, but very mecha in how it's done. It's very nice.
You can't really fight effectively because you will risk chopping through your bird friend.
Yeah, the spinny blade thing is less good when your bird friend is the one getting chopped up by the spinny blade. So can't use his one move that he has.
I realized in this episode when you see there's a lot of Kagetora running around, I realized that his physiology as a tiger resembles those sort of coin-operated animal rides.
Oh yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense. It is the kind of rocking motion and stuff. See, initially I was thinking like you know, I can't remember the dog's name in Peter Pan, but when you have it like a person playing the dog in the play, that's what I thought it was initially. I think you might be right on the kids' ride, because also kids are riding on him constantly, so that's the giveaway.
There's a really weird ad right now. Which is, I think it's an inspiration from the Shaggy DA, you know, and that scene and that. It's like if we're gonna ad for Lynx or something like that, and there's a lady going around and her long-haired boyfriend, girlfriend, I'm not quite sure which was, but had the same kind of fucking hairstyle as the girl's like fucking like sheepdog. So it's like shot of a sheepdog, but then there's a person in a sheepdog suit is like strangling this like everyone's hey no, it's my girl.
Okay.
Yeah, like the punch. Yeah, I've not seen that one. Right, you've completely thrown me now. My train of thought has derailed.
The tiger is one of those coin-operated things in a shopping center.
Gemmas are really coming through in a pinch here.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What we're saying.
Yeah, chase them into
Nagia Castle.
That's it. They're in the roof. They find a suit of armor. The sun is now rising, and it catches the gem, and it shines a light on the vampire. He doesn't like it. Then they realize
this is after he gets serious because he got his cool sunglasses destroyed in the fight.
Yes,
which is real bent up about.
Yeah, because they leap attack him, and I think they do the leap attack before he gets dazzled in the eyes, and then he cuts the roof off. Because they get an attack in on him, smash the glasses because he slices through what he thinks is YAIBA in the armor, but it's just YAIBA in the top half of the armor and Kakatora in the bottom half of the armor. So he in fact sliced nothing, and he's now left himself open for a hit. Yeah, that splits the glasses, and then it's gem hits, and then they slice the entire roof off the castle to defeat him. Which now they've run out of Oni, so next week he's going to have to start resurrecting dead swordsmen to fight him instead.
Hey, Mr. Spider's still around. I mean,
he is
just doing PR stuff mostly from what we've seen. He's on the news and everything, handed out plushes of demons and whatnot. I wasn't sure with Bat Guy. Did he like? He's obviously he bites and vampirizes, zombifies a bunch of guys. Did he do that to his generic demon mooks as well? Because they seemed more animated. Yeah. I mean, they're basically the same, but more toothy, basically. You know?
They're weirdly both more animated and slower as vampires because they move like
zombie kind of
vampires.
Yeah. This episode is so fucking good looking. It's really good.
Never really stops. It just keeps going again to end. Never lets up.
It's like, it'll just be big for this fight scene, and then they'll be like, okay, we need to run away for a bit now, and we'll cheap the animation. It's like, no, there's a shot of the tiger's fur bristling as he realizes the vampire's behind him, and it's so fucking good. I was just like, you didn't have to go that hard in it, man. It's great.
Even we're fucking around, and it's like, no, we're doing like we're going to modernize this because, like, we're doing a travel log, but also, now we got like camera phones, so we're doing selfie. What is a selfie? Was raised in the jungle.
And despite it being like very good like action set pieces, like great fucking action direction, it still manages to put in all those cartoony things like the two kids in a trench coat solution to fighting a vampire. It's just like that's great. Yeah.
I think vampire must actually be more threatening, but it's just like, oh, he's so scary. No, he's just like fucking tiny old man keeps crashing into walls.
He's just trying to grab you rather than do the swords thing that he was good at. But I also like the Bat Guy was kind of like, holy shit, I'm a huge fan of your work. Vampirize you. Yeah.
It was the travelogue thing this week made me realize, that's the thing that carried on into Detective Conan. It's researching an area of Japan and using
go to interesting places, solve a murder there. Yeah,
like the onsen town they went to last time, without being named, is the big one because they had the main dragon fish as one of the backgrounds there. It's like, oh yeah, that's the one they always go to in the movies.
Then it's Anne Shirley, episode 6. I thought nothing could be as bad as red hair. But you have to wait till the end of the episode to learn what is bad as red could be as bad as red hair.
Yeah, because it's a game of two halves, I suppose.
Yes, because the first part is the class has been given an exercise in creative writing, and of course, Anne is full bore into this. It lets her imagination run wild.
The crux is they have to I guess the prompt is you have to write something out about a proposal. She's like, I don't know about a proposal. People who adopted me, do you know? And there's like, no, we're brother and sister and bachelors for life. So we do not know about proposals. She's like, damn, I'm gonna have to ask someone who would know. Who's the person with the most sisters and therefore most likely to have seen a marriage proposal? So they asked their I've forgotten the blonde kid's name.
Ruby.
Ruby. Yeah. I think, there's something about that where she kind of bases a self-insert character on her, I think, or something like that.
Well, no, she's the two characters are clearly Anne and Diana.
No, but it's Anne's idealized version where she's blonde and has an exotic name and shit like that. Like, yeah.
Yes, but she's said because Diana points out, shouldn't that character have red hair? She's no, a lead character in a romantic story can't have red hair. It's got to have blonde hair like Ruby's. And also the romantic interest is Bertram, not Gilbert. Bertram.
Completely different guy. Nah.
How many boys do I know? It was just the one actually, so I guess it had to like be my sole reference here, but I hide it very well.
I did like that. It was just like that when he kind of stumbles between playing his stupid boy games in recess or whatever. Like he's going, doesn't know what to say to her. But also, I have done the thing of trying to hold something against the ceiling with a broom. So I was like, yeah, we've all done that. It's good crack. Yeah. Good, clean fun.
Make a ball on masking tape and kick it around.
Yeah.
Is it Ruby who's joining in with the games? Because this is all sort of like the hints of like, oh, they're approaching their teenage years, so now
it's Ruby that asked them to. It's like, can I have a go at the old broom on the ceiling game? And then they're like, fucking Ruby, she's got loads of sisters, she's probably seen the proposal. She's like, yeah. He's like, hey baby, how about we get hitched? And they're like, really, that was it? He didn't get down on one knee and fucking pull out a diamond or something like that as big as your head? It's like, no, nothing like that. And they're like, I'm gonna make it up. I'm just gonna make it up. So she does, and it's so fucking good. She inspires a writing club among all her friends.
Yes, where she gives advice to everybody on their stories.
Jana, you kill off your characters way too quickly.
I don't know what to do with them. It's just like, no, like make it a murder mystery. And I keep suggesting you need to make this fucking marmot I've seen in the woods like the main character, because he's great. I love that guy. What's it?
Imagine the merchandise in that.
The Bard of the Woods or something, I think she calls him. I can't remember.
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, and initially, even her foster parent is kind of like this is nonsense. They should be teaching practical stuff in school.
Yeah, Marina is very much fun.
Yeah.
What kind of job can you get out of it? What kind of job can you get out of it?
Write her. Come on. But doesn't see the practicality of it. But then kind of like. I did like your man's kind of like, and again, he's such a good character, and the acting is great because he has to go, and it's just all face acting with him and grunts.
Well, Matthew's all behind the beard, like, you know, it's a very expressive beard he has.
But him kind of thrusting Anne's story into her face is like just waggling his eyebrows, indicating you need to fucking read this.
Oh, it's good, man. Because it's hilarious. I was like, oh my gosh, like, well, what a downer ending. We got one bit hard on that one. It's like, no, it's total like high drama. I was like, you know, she betrayed her friends, so she betrayed her back, and then she died, and then like there was still united in death. It's fun. Saying, oh God, man, like you got shit out with this stuff. This is fun.
It's so dramatic, it loops back into comedy, yeah.
Yes, because she's mad because they assembled all the stories and sent it to Diana's aunt, and apparently she enjoyed it, but Anne is mad that apparently she laughed at the stories, and then that's why she needs another adult's approval, and unfortunately, yes, it turns out that you've written, I guess, a very funny idea of what a proposal is. I'm going to guess.
A child's idea of drama. A very dramatic child's idea of drama.
Like, how, like, you know, just about be happy, and then they all fucking died.
But yeah, the other bit is when Diana reads the story out in front of class, she's very nervous, but everyone gives her a round of applause, and the teacher points out that Anne has a knack for leadership because she's been spotting her doing the story club. And then the second part is Anne buys some hair dye.
Body horror.
And it turns her hair green. And what is she going to do? Well, she has to get it cut off.
Just like a number of days off of school and saying, "Don't look at me! Don't look at me! I'm hideous."
Yeah, she bought it off a traveling peddler who gave her a story that was so dramatic about his starving children and he needs to feed, and he's just like, yeah, fuck it, I'll give it a go. And now that I bought the hair dye, I just want to use it, and it's apparently black, it's green, so doesn't look great, but the crop look suits her. It's and her coming to terms with it's like I don't want to ever look at myself until my hair goes back. No, I must accept myself for who I am. It's just like, and the two just kind of listening at the door. It's like, is she fucking okay in there? She's grand. She'll be grand. She's, I want to say a good head on her shoulders, a weird fucking head on her shoulders, but you know, she'll be okay. She's a tough kid.
She's rocking it pretty well. Like, no, and Gilbert is going, I'm not upset ants. I'm not going near that.
Yeah.
I was playing around before. If I make any comment on that, she probably will kill me. I'm staying away.
Yeah. Next week is I've been making mistakes, but each mistake has helped cure me of my shortcomings.
Sound advice.
Then we've got Gag Manga Biyor Go, episode 6, Hansel and Gretel, in which Hansel and Gretel find the witch's house. Hansel is overly enthusiastic about the hard candy windows, and that is the theme of the entire episode. Is his enthusiasm for the hard candy windows.
We're starving. We need to eat this sweet's house. It's like, check it out, this fucking brioche built into the walls, and he's just there licking the windows like, fuck, I think that's peppermint. It's like, you're not gaining sustenance from licking a fucking window, Hansel. What are you doing? It's great. It's so good.
You're literally a window licker. That's what the fucking brain is doing to you.
Yeah.
So naturally, they get captured by the witch. Puts Hansel in a cage. Tells Gretel to feed him until he's fat enough to be eaten. Hansel says, "Gretel, I've got an idea. Can you push push my cage closer to the window?" And then, of course, he's just sticking his tongue through the cage to lick the window again.
No, I'm gonna lick my way through the window. It's part of my whole plan. It's the witch is like, "Are you fucking licking my fucking windows?" And she's like, "Hansel's got that kind of thing where he doesn't process." But he doesn't process fat properly, so he's going to be like skinny and bony. So you need to give us, what's the fucking chemical?
Anabolics.
What that's like.
At home we have to feed him anabolics so he'll process food correctly. So actually, he goes and gets some special anabolics that witches
that
have.
Only witches have access to. Yeah.
And then she comes back later and says, "Did you feed him the anabolics?" Yes, we've been eating the anabolics. I've been taking them. Gretel pulls her sleeve up and she's absolutely ripped. And then, in a burst of animation, because this has been incredibly close to the panels of the comic up to this point, it suddenly bursts into animation, and she gut punches the witch, and they make their escape. But as they're coming out the door, Hansel takes a hard right, just so we can get one more lick of the window in.
It's so good. Oh man.
And then they're exhausted having to escape the witch, and Hansel's trying to convince Gretel to go back and sneak another lick on the window.
Let's just knock one of the panes out, take him with us.
It's very good, man. Yeah. I know it's good when it's referencing shit that I don't know, but this is also particularly good because it's just like this one weird thing. Like besides Gretel getting fucking jacked, like this Hansel just being so laser focused on licking this window is really fucking funny.
Yeah, and it's just like doing it at the expense of his entire safety, and then at the end wanting to go back again. So funny. What's next week's? Oh yes, the next week's is there's a
idol competition.
Idol group. Yeah, someone has made an idol group which has 88 people in it.
That will definitely cover all your bases. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Then we get Kowloon Generic Romance, Episode 6, in which, so the second
Kowloon is
Kowloon,
dropped.
second Kowloon has also been destroyed, and the Kowloon we're currently in is the Kowloon that exists within the
Generic Terra.
But does it exist within it, or is it Generic Terra's remade it?
We don't know.
I think again, the thing I'm stuck on this thing of it's projecting it, because we did see what's the guy who was one of him was the waiter in the
Gwen,
bar.
yeah.
Gwen. When we see, I think that was last episode, we see Gwen walking into Kowloon 2, into the ruins of it, because the taxi driver is like, "You sure you fucking want to go in there?"
Going in there for?
Because the taxi driver can only see the ruins of Kowloon 2, whereas Gwen can see Kowloon 2 as it was before it was also destroyed.
Yes.
So, and this is a plot point they're trying to go in, is like, some people can see it and other people can't, and they're trying to figure out how it is. It's like, oh, is it people who used to live there? It's like, no, because one character's like, I used to live there with you at the same time, so, and I can't fucking see it. And it's like, what about this woman? She never lived there, and she can see it. And it's just like, okay, that's weird.
It doesn't add up.
Yeah.
I guess Miyuki, like, he knows or has a dude. It's got some fucking, like, a lot of irons in the fire here. But one is just like, is a guy looking into this, what's it about? Also, Yuki asking a doctor fun saying, "Can I ever have children?" Fun saying, "Well, you're a hermaphrodite, but it's not functioning, so, like, I guess not."
That he has both sets of all the internal and external gubbins, but, like, they're not functional for a thing. And he's like, "Could I, like, in vitro kind of thing?" He's like, "No, like, it wouldn't take." And he's like,
So I said, like, no, his plan here is that the Generic Terra seems to, like, have this retention of memory like that. So, like, maybe something like that is, like, it has this memory of Kowloon or of that now. It's projecting out as well. But he's planning to use this because there's a backup of some people in there. That's why we have doubles, apparently, or that's the hypothesis at least, to use this to create a double or a facsimile of Yuki, like, his father's, like, his deceased son, the one he actually loves. He'll look just like him, sound like him, walk like him, talk like him, but it won't have any memories of his father. It'll be the cruelest revenge of all.
His father's plan is to resurrect, using this Generic Terra thing, his dead son. And his plan is like, I'm not fucking doing that. I got my own shit going on. But he's still investigating as to how this thing works, because they really seem unsure of this thing, how it works, of what they made. But it's a very odd one, and it was just like, even the guys who are presumably have 100% involvement in this do not know what the fuck is happening.
It's just best guesses at this stage.
And also the father asked him to break up with his dog, which is obviously Gwen. And Gwen is so annoyed at this, he has inserted himself into the narrative to explain the situation to the other characters, which is great. I do actually really like that. Where he's like, "Hey, let me explain to you. Yeah, you're a clone, but not like that kind of clone. It's like this." He explains what he knows so far to our other characters.
Rico is essentially what Miyuki is planning to do to his father. The claim that Miyuki wants to make is equivalent. So it has somebody already committed this revenge on Kudo somehow by taking the person that he loves and making a but also, is Kudo even alive? Is this just a backup Kudo that's in this backup Kowloon? Because when we get the flashback we get in this episode is we see that Kudo in the past is moving forward, but Kujirai B is happy to leave things. She doesn't want to read the second book because the first book was fine. She was.
Well, what if the second book is a disappointment? What if all the mysteries are unraveled in a way that's not satisfying? I'd prefer to leave it open. It's like, and he's like, "Would you? You're looking at the goldfish. Do you like goldfish? Would you like a goldfish?" And she's like, "I couldn't keep a pet. That would tie me down." And she's like, "Do you ever want to go anywhere?" It's like, "No, I'd never want to leave Kowloon." It's like, I want to remain in stasis. I want this and nothing more, nothing fucking less. I don't want
no pets, no holidays.
I don't want to change from
let's go
where
to
I'm
the
at.
bar. Let's go to dumpling soup. Let's get a beer. Let's have a smoke.
And even as she's saying this, like they're talking about, because in the news we're in Kowloon 2 now. They're gonna demolish Kowloon 2 again. Ugh, fucking annoying. And she's like, because she wants to remain in stasis in a place that is no longer going to exist in like a very short amount of time, like months at the
and
highest.
Then weirdly again, it's just also like it's just from Kowloon. It's just people are always like fun, like taking that apart and building stuff onto it anyway. So it's constantly changing. So it's this weird fucking like this fucking circular fucking logic just like feeding into itself.
But it does then make you think: is the Kudo in the present day actually the same Kudo we're seeing in the flashbacks? Or is he?
Unless he's also looking into. Yeah, but he seems to be a copy of him with his memories. Is the thing from what we've seen.
Well, see, it's like that's where it gets confusing at all, like and just to kind of the ambiguity, like about like who can see or enter Kowloon and who can't. Like once you're inside there, like does it like entrance you in some way? Like this like projection, this illusionary like Kowloon. Does it just like because Yame like despite I haven't never heard of it in life before, she still like could see it and was drawn to it, and it's like I love being here. Like I can be my true self now inside this place.
I think it's
does
something
it kind
about
of weave some kind of spell over you?
Because like your man says, like I did want to see Kowloon and I can see it, and the other guy's like I also wanted to see Kowloon but I can't see it. I think it's something about like a personal desire thing, because she, like, as someone, it's actually Gwen who asked her, had you heard of Kowloon prior to whatever many months ago? And she's like, no. And it's like, yet now you live here, kind of thing. So it'll project the ideal, and again, the speech she has about her ideal self that was kind of galvanized in the last episode, whereas like, no, I did change into my former self, but now I'm just this. I'm staying in my idealized self, this new person that I've made that likes lemon chicken and all these other things, yeah. And I was just like, yeah, I think it's something about that, like wanting to change to a thing and stay as that thing. Because obviously with our pharmaceutical scion, he does have an idealized self where obviously he wants to bear children, seemingly. Like there's something he wants to achieve with his sense of self, and Kowloon is an opportunity to give him that, or something like that. Yeah,
and also just the fact that like people like Miyuki and Gwen, they can come and go. They have come and gone from Kowloon. Like so you're not necessarily trapped there unless you're trapped there by, I guess, whatever attachment or wherever you have to this place, wherever it's kind of like how it's ensorcelled you.
Yeah, and the other thing it seems to be because when Gwen went into Kowloon, that made the Gwen in Kowloon disappear, like the other version. But presumably our main character, she can't disappear now because there's no real version of her to come in and
outside
make her disappear.
Of Kowloon.
So she is ostensibly the real version now, and that's the thing. Like she's getting this sense of.
It's about like in the absence of the real one. That means like the next closest, like the next best thing is the fake. The fake becomes the real one.
Yeah, and I guess that is kind of what the guy, the dad, the head of the medical thing, is trying to achieve by resurrecting his son. I want to make a copy of him that can exist outside of Kowloon. Yeah. It's a strange one, yeah.
Yes, or Rico is an entirely different thing. And she's not.
That's the other thing, yeah.
She's not a zirconium. She's something else. Which
I think they've accidentally made a diamond instead of a zirconia. Yeah.
I think they've indicated that in the dialogue before that. Also, Gwen is more on board now that Rico is not pretending to be the person who had her face previously.
Because initially she's like, "You're just a clone." It's like, "Oh, you're your own person," and obviously she takes that as a compliment. It's like, "Yeah, no, that's the thing I'm trying to achieve." And maybe as she ended the episode, it's like maybe the thing I need to do is leave Kowloon and go somewhere else and build a new life away from you, the guy I fell in love with, because this isn't good for you, man. It's not good working with and next to being around the face of the woman your fiance who died. Presumably, you said you murdered, but everyone says no, he didn't.
But he says, "Don't go. Stay with me. Stay close by me, all the time."
It's Is this at the fucking This is when she's like, I want to try the foods of the world. He's like, all the foods of the world can be found in cup noodle. This is like that during that. It's like again this weird contrast between like comedy and seriousness. But
you don't need to leave Kowloon. You got all the food you want here. So again, it's another one of these things where like it's like some kind of force might like compel you to stay here. She opens a travel magazine and it's like this kind of like a feeling comes over her, like it's almost like she is something's kind of taking control of her. She's saying the words are flowing out right now about how I should get away from them, but it's like why my brain is saying no, but my mouth keeps going. Yeah. And then there's a big crash or explosion outside just as we're kind of having this. It's just like, do events like, conspire? Does the world change on itself and interfere when people get too close to breaking out of the programming?
Yeah. Is there something like that? Because again, these guys are literally facilitating, constantly moving people around in those blocks and making sure the whole system keeps going. That's the point of the realtors that they work at.
Yeah. Are they data, like, are they fucking programs organizing data on one giant hard drive in the sky?
That's another thing as well. That very much so, those kind of blocks and like taking out the program of small child and putting her in this other fucking block where her program will function better because it suits her program's needs, that kind of thing. Yeah, there's something there to it. Like, it's a really good show. It can give, like, whatever the mystery eventually is, it's fun to think about as you're watching it. Like,
they also mentioned Xiao Hei in the flashback dialogue.
Yes,
so she was around in the second Kowloon as well, because they were trying to find her somewhere to live.
So presumably she's a Xiao Hei projection rather than
possibly or other things are going on. And the other
could
thing
be.
Yulong, who's the guy who can't get into this third Kowloon.
It's very funny. He shows up with a very distinct character design. It's like, hey, how's it going?
I think he was the third guy on the phone. Miyuki was talking to people early on, investigating things. He mentions he brings feng shui into the discussion.
Yes, that's right.
That's right, because your man's like, feng shui is just like fucking nonsense. They get to sell you fucking furniture and mirrors and shit. And he's like, no, it's based on science, because it's based on like layout and direction,
geography, architecture,
aesthetics. Like, it's all
physics, these are how things act upon certain points. And
these are different sciences and ways of organizing things that are all kind of cobbled together into feng shui. Like, and I was just like, and again, that feeds into the whole constructed reality of it. Like,
pieces of Kowloon, like fucking thing as well. Like, he was something that kind of would be kind of like, in some ways it kind of defies feng shui, but so many people who lived in there would actually like, well, I'm going to lay out my cubicle according to the principles of this.
Yeah. It's every so often when I'm watching this, I have to remind myself that this is an ongoing manga that started in 2019 and not something from the 1990s. And I think it was the combination of the male pregnancy angle and the feng shui being a plot element. I was like, just double check that again. Okay, 2019. It is.
I mean, the fact that it's about Kowloon makes it seem like it's like, oh, this is from because that was torn down in was it 94, wasn't it?
1993 or 4,
around then anyway. So it's just like, again, they have fucking mobile phones and shit, but like, it just feels so fucking 90s. Just the style of it and everything. I mean that entirely as a compliment. It's obviously what it's going for.
It fits into the nostalgic thing that runs through it.
Yeah.
The very fabric of the storytelling is also nostalgic. Yes, very good. There's a couple of weird angles where... But there's like a lot of weird looking animation this week in a lot of shows, so I'm not going to hold it against it.
There's a lot of talking, so like, how much can you do with them?
And then I realised that I've not watched Witch Watch episode 6, Under the Lover's Tree.
Oh no!
We're putting the rom and the rom-com again.
Yeah. So tell me about what happened in this one.
I remember in the second half, which is like the Lover's Tree part. What was the first? Goddamn.
Was that with the No, damn. It involved a spell, would you believe?
Of course.
Yeah,
It is. Can she like recognizes like, hey, so are you guys going out? And she's like, what? No. And he's like, okay, so obviously we need to talk. Unfortunately, we can because he's early to bed, early to rise. So we have a great window where we know he will be unconscious and unable to overhear our plannings. I'm trying to remember what the fucking plan was now.
Well, it's like, like it's I'm trying to make you like seem more like this more appealing to more, because maybe if you're around him all the time, he's only kind of used to being around. You get this whole history together, but maybe he doesn't see you that way. One thing, yeah, but how do I make him? How do I catch his eye? Like, because all the girls at school, I know he's like seeing he's like a super capable, like handsome dude as well. How do I gotta head them off?
And as they're having this conversation,
I got you. I'll do you a solid right now. I got Tengu powers. Just going to like up this whole scene. You're gonna come down the hallway, and you hear something kind of flowing in the wind and all graceful and elegant. Like I'm there on the side with my Tengu fan that's blowing wind at you. It'd be super good. So
he's inspired by a hair product ad on TV. He's just like, of course. So they plan it because he has a very specific route that he goes to on lunch because he likes that vending machine or whatever. It's like, okay, so I'll go and I'll find you there, and she looks great. He's like, yeah, you're a star, you're beautiful. And then your man's kind of like, why the fuck is the wind only blowing at her and like nowhere fucking else? Like there's a
just
strong
the
breeze.
Dead eyes, just knows nothing in there at all. It's like, okay, more wind.
And then she starts looking like, I don't know, halfway between like a ghost and Super Saiyan, I want to say.
It feels like it was a specific reference to some kind of psychic manga, but I can't tell
that's what
it
I would
is.
think.
But what is also done is that it's blown too hard and fun. The teacher's walking by our school nurse says, "Oh, here is like all the fact files from like the latest physical like checkups of all the female students, including their weight." It's just like, oh my god, it's all good for my weight. And
as been established earlier, one, he's been training to catch leaves blindfolded, and two, he now understands that you can't ask a woman away from asking her weight earlier because he needs to maintain her physical health as well as protect her and that kind of thing. She's like, you don't ask a girl her weight. And he's like, I must use everything I've learned this episode, which is only those two things, to blindfoldedly grab all the girls' medical data without seeing any of it and return it to the teacher.
He just goes like, I didn't look at a single line. It's like, oh, woo! It's like, oh, damn, it was fun. Made him look great now to all the girls again.
All the girls in school think he's great. The girls who knew him more so. The girls who didn't know him was like, who's that guy? It's just like, God damn it.
And then we got to go on the school trip coming up. We're gonna go up a hike in the mountains, and there's the lovers tree up there. And it's like, everyone's talking about this, about like, they're gonna confess to their paramour under that tree, and it'll come true. Like Nico's going fun saying, yeah, like maybe some kind of magic in that shit. Maybe because witch right here. I got fun to see how I got a bit to see if it works out. And yeah, everyone kind of knows about this, so everyone was going around that tree, and everyone was trying to talk to their fun prospective partner and pair up with them, and then
there was one girl
Nico
who
has a whole
like
brigade of guys queue up for her.
It's actually like there's a girl who gave her Nico gave her like a lover's charm kind of thing. It just makes like you more brave to do a confession. It's not going to make it win. She's like, yeah, but the fact that I got it from a witch means I'm in with more of a shot. But all of these kids underneath this one fucking tree, like all the guys going for Nico, they just all wanted charms. It's just like, come on, you got to do me a solid. We don't got long. Lunch break's nearly over.
Okay, forget this. Shrink mode. I'm the size of a little net, of a little flying up. I wanted to zoom out of here, and it's like, whoops! I've bumped off, and I've landed right in Moy's front shirt pocket, just as some other chick is rolling up to offer her confession of love to him. And she's like, oh, would you consider going out with me? Fun saying, no, I can't do that. And the fun saying, no, he's so cruel and blunt. And fun saying, is somebody else that you care about? Is somebody else you love? And he says, no, there is not. And Nico's just like, oh, no. But there is somebody who's important to me. And then it's like, there'll be childhood memory of how, while it wasn't a romantic thing, but it certainly endeared him to Nico was after her fun house got blown up because she's doing magic, and then her father walked out in the family fun saying, oh, my dad isn't going to pick me up anymore, fun saying, yeah, well, if your dad's not here, then if you fall, I'll catch you, I'll pick you up. And it's like, oh, my hero.
So it's like he's like, I don't fall in love, I can't fall in love, my mission's too important, but there is someone I care about. She's like, So I got a shot. And it's just
So
like,
you're
that's
saying there's a chance.
basically, and it's just like, yeah, okay, she's gonna be all right. And Can learns the secret from a mysterious old man. That's like, that's not the lover's tree. It's that stupid looking tree over there. And it's like, how would you know, pompadoured old man? It's like, because me and my old lady, we started that rumor and we're still together. It's like, honey, well, let's go.
Come on, baby, let's roll.
And that, wouldn't you know it, that's the tree that Nico and Moy are having lunch under right now. And Can's like, looks like everything worked out just as Can planned.
Yeah, it was at this stage of like, where we kind of, this is a different kind of romantic comedy. It's not like Kanchi is in competition with Moy for Nico's affection. It's fun saying, nah, fun.
He's on Nico's side.
I gotta try and fucking help her out, like make her look as good as possible. It's like, oh my gosh, I better leave these two alone. Good fella. He's a good lad. I mean, he's not fucking things up for himself. And it was like, for a lot of like romance and drama things going on. They're like getting very loose with the comedic animation, and this was I suppose the wind machine and the kind of effects thereof are pretty good. But just Nico was like in a panic with all these fun people out here confessing their love and they're chasing her around. It was a nice looseness to it. Because like that opening really kind of turns into a fun thing. It's not going to look as good. The opening is amazing, but remember, it's not going to look as good as that. But it has its moments within the body of the program. So that's not forgotten about.
Yeah, and then I think we get a whole bunch of sort of weird rearranging next week of manga chapters.
Yeah. Oh, actually, in this we got like Keigo, and we see him just before that as the hipster lad who's always sitting by himself, trying to be a cool dude. And
Moy notices that he has a mod bag. I think for his lunch.
About mod culture for a couple of minutes. It's like, guys, see, you're a true aficionado as well.
They plant those seeds early, so I'm like, okay, that'll help them rearrange stuff. I was like, that's a good way to do it. Yeah.
Then it is Go Loser Ranger episode 17, the arrival of Green The Maji Tsuyo force. In which, would you believe it, Chidori was the Green Dragon Keeper all along.
It's a weird kind of like, I don't know if it's like a split personality or it's just like when I do the henshin thing, I turn into a real goober. I can do it.
I get very loud.
Yeah, it's very funny when he has to apologize for how he talks when he turns into the Green Keeper, because it does seem like a different personality takes over.
Yeah.
Yes, so they try to figure out who is the boss monster, and they come to the conclusion it's the kid who greets them at the start of every day.
I appreciate
the stories
that
don't add up.
It's just like, let me just concentrate on this. I'm going to constantly smash this window and reset the day over and over and over in a way that we can reuse the animation, and that way it'll save it for the crazy shit we got planned in a minute. So just let it spin its wheels for a bit, and it'll get there. Even the cop going like, stop fucking resetting.
It was kind of clever in a way, because the cop says this is his younger brother and he's been missing for half a year, but the kid told us before that he's only been here for a week. So it's just like, I'm gonna keep her on this loop and hey guys, but he goes, hey guys, good morning. Hey guys, good morning. Hey guys, good morning.
Yeah.
Hey guys, good morning. It says, there he is. You fucking.
I fucking tired you out.
Getting tired of trying this out, aren't you?
But yeah, it reveals like, yep, is me. I'm the snake guy. I was pretending to be the brother. I'll stab the cop, and is that when he decides to pull him into his Escher world within a world?
Yeah, yes. This means like, hey, you got me, so I'm going to crush you all within my dimension, which I control at all times now.
Yeah, and then Chidori just rolls in, and he's like, "How do you get in here? Shouldn't be able to just force your way in."
Big hammer.
It turns out he's got a big hammer.
That's his secret weapon that he's been keeping in his Tommy gun looking case for a while. It's just like big hammer. That's his solution. Yeah, it works. It literally smashes through a fake reality into real reality. So It's a good hammer. Yeah.
What is this boss monster's name?
Magatia.
That's him. Yeah. So he tries to convince the former soldier with the snake tattoo to become his new host, and he agrees because he still wants to create this idyllic world for children to live in rather than the terrible world that's outside.
He's only teaming up against him because it's like, well, then you started using the kids as collateral. I'm actually for this plan of keeping them trapped in this idyllic school life. Yeah.
So D has to duel him, and he remembers the kendo he learnt from the detectives.
5-minute lesson before they went inside.
Yeah.
They always go for the head because it's illegal to. It's like, why not the legs? It's like, well, that's an illegal move, and it's like, well, I'm going to cheat. It's basically the plan.
Well, we're not fucking in the fucking, like, we're not at a fucking tournament here, man. This is the streets. Just chop at the legs.
He's stolen Cannon's artifact as well, as before he escapes. That's the other thing he does. He rips it out of there.
They do seem to stab him to the ground with one of her small knives, and then we have the Green Ranger with his big hammer going like, now I'm going to bonk you. But we never see him get bonked, is the other thing. And I was like, did they keep that guy on the payroll or something? I'm not sure.
It's going to keep him inside like a coffee tin, and then we'll deal with you later. We'll have a use for you, pal. We'll
just have him in a thing of mixed nuts, and then it's like alternate reality. And it's like, yeah, maybe.
And then are the children glad that they were freed from this psychic prison? No, they hurl rocks at our heroes.
No. I liked double bats, actually.
Well, it was better than the terrible life that they came from, which just tells you how bad it was. And it's just like, well, we didn't do this to be thanked by the victims. We did it to fucking catch the boss monster. So mission succeeds.
Well, it's Matt told like the fun teacher, like, former Soros is getting led away in the causes with saying, I did it for the kids. So Hibiki, Sakurama, in my place, now you gotta do it for the kids. It's like, okay.
Yeah, when the cops are like,
the best one to ask, well, I'll give it a shot, I suppose.
When they're like, oh, we still got to arrest you, and I'm kind of like, for what? What crime did he do? It was like,
child endangerment. I don't know.
Yeah,
they were actually safer in the alternate reality than they were in our reality. I don't know, man.
For all intents and purposes, it appears like he was like, we're holding children against their will inside a big warehouse.
He wasn't. They all wanted to be there. They're all like, no, I wasn't kidnapped. I came here.
Sure. They wanted to be there. Get in the back of the car, pal. Let's go.
Well, they say, well, there might not be any crimes they can charge you for. They do have a lot of questions they want to ask him.
We'll find something, and it's the Japanese police attitude of fun saying, well, they're going to take it. We can hold you for 72 hours without charge. We'll find something to keep you here.
And I was surprised that he didn't get. I was like, oh, he's going to get taken over by the boss monster, and that's how it's just like, oh, you know who D is, and it's like, no, it's like he's just going to prison knowing who D is, and I'm just like, oh. So another person is still out in the wild.
Yes, that's him telling that he's there responsible is more pointedly made because he knows that he's a duster. But I think everybody is slowly becoming clear that D's morals and ethics have changed over time, and that he is
not to D. He's a baddie. I'm a bad guy.
Yeah, he hasn't realized it himself, really, or he's denying. I think he's denying it. Is probably more the.
If you're a monster and you're taking out bigger monsters, the keepers, you're the good guy, and that's only made more pointedly by the red fucking keeper kind of going, it's like, a lion was loose in the zoo, small child, and if you fucking say anything else,
I'll kill you.
Now, who wants an autograph? And it's it was just like, these guys are so corrupt. It's like, you're the good guy for taking them out. But yeah, no, it wasn't a lion, it was a kaiju, as that small child said.
Yes, but it's not good to lie. If you lie, you might turn into a monster.
And what do I do to monsters? Yeah.
And then meanwhile, the real Sakurama is discovered by an old man in some bin bags.
I hope he's alive. His face is all fucked up. He's got one less arm. He's woken up in a pile of trash. Man, he's... Yeah.
The last time we saw him was when you see him showing up at that warehouse, like, with all the kids. They just like beat the shit out of him and throw him out.
Entirely possible.
It could be as simple as that.
Yeah. Don't worry, he's fine. I accidentally watched the wrong episode to begin with, so I I have seen what he was doing. Next week, yes. Then we got Sword of the Demon Hunter, episode 7. Episode 7. What happens here?
This is the story about finding out about your foster dad's porn that he got specially commissioned. Because there's a rumor going around town about, there's this cursed painting, the ukiyo-e of Kyudan Zaka. It's like the painter actually finished, he fell mysteriously ill, and that person who owned this, they were in a horrible accident and they were killed. It's like, oh my god! So
it's like it has demon in the name. It's known as a demonic painting. When he sold it, he fell ill under a mysterious illness, and it's like, would you mind investigating this for me, Jinya? Because like, I gotta know if this painting's cursed or not. So he's going around town. Is like, hello, have you seen this painting? Is it cursed? And Jimmy Olsen is like, yeah, I got a copy of it. My one's slightly ruined. And when he tries to go to the guy who he bought it from, he's like, yeah, I got a new session for you, Jimmy. And Jimmy's like,
shut up.
Don't.
We're talking later. I'm not going to tell you about this.
It's only in the opening, I have a crippling porn addiction. Like, not in the show yet. We're going to get to that eventually, presumably. Maybe.
Yes, pal, Jimmy Olsen.
So it's through him they managed to backtrace it to the painter, isn't it?
To find the artist's address. Yep. Phone saying, yo, can I come in? The phone saying, yeah, come on in. The phone saying, oh, sir, I'm sorry, I heard your bedroom. The phone saying, what are you saying? There's rumors going about town about this like painting you did and it's cursed and you fell ill. That's the phone saying, oh, that old thing. No, man, I'm just getting fucking old. You know how long ago I did that? Jesus. Let me tell you a story. And
he tells him part of the story and is like of the man who commissioned it. And Ginny's like, that's my dad. And he's like, oh, fuck. No way. Small fucking world. I'll tell you the rest of the story. But you're not going to like it. And Ginny's like, no, lay it to me straight, basically. Yeah.
So there was, like, to remind me about the day I first moved in here, and there's a lady in, like, the housing campus, I suppose, like, it's like, she's a real beauty. And saying, what's your name, sweetheart? And it's like, I haven't got a name, or not one I'm willing to tell anyway. Just call me Nanashi. Just call me stranger. I was like, okay, I get you. Well, nice to meet you, stranger. And this guy, like, Jinta's dad, he could come by, like, Ujikav, like, during the year, once or twice, and I got a message from the fucking shrine, and he just started complaining about this, like, priestess that he worked for. He's just like,
He's sending me on errands. I'm supposed to be your fucking bodyguard. This is bullshit. Like, you'd send a messenger to do this kind of stuff, and he'd appear there next year, and the year after, and eventually he'd be just like...
complain a lot, but obviously...
But the complaints got less, and the compliments increased as the years went on. He's like, okay, you've fallen in love with her. He's like, yeah, I've absolutely fallen in love with her. Will you do a portrait of her for me? And he's like... I don't know what the fuck she looks like. Don't worry. She looks like Nameless upstairs. And it's like, what? It's like, yeah, weird fucking coincidence. What can I tell you?
Yeah, it is odd, isn't it? Kind of like, we can't linger on that too much, but what might come back.
That's definitely something, though. Yeah.
But it's this whole thing about, like, the reputation is all kind of like, all caught up with fun saying. The same was demonic, but I thought, like, it was more like the beauty is kind of as bewitching, because, like, hey, it's like a really kind of, and
it was all like a Detective Conan style pun, because Ginny's dad used to say when he first was talking about the priestess, was just like, she's more demonic than a demon, and he's like, that's funny. But later on he fell in love with her. It was like, I'm gonna fucking write her name so it can be read as demonic. That won't make it seem like a haunted painting when I have it finished.
Yeah, but even when he was like, the picture of stuff had just like, it reminds me of like saying about a goddess, and there was like, there's a goddess of 8 hills, but I think my WAP is a bit better than the goddess. Thank you very much. She can be like, Kyudan Zaka, 9 hills. Yeah, that's pretty great. It's just like, so it's just like, I'll just kind of speak to me about, that's not something my dad I knew at all. Like, he's usually he's very stoic but very warm, but like, he's always like, about his duty. To hear him have like, be complaining about us and have these kind of cute little moments, and like, commissioning porn of my, like, just the foster mother I never knew, because she had passed away by the time I got there.
It wasn't pornography. It was just something he'd have a wank to now and again. It's completely different. All right, completely fucking different.
So yeah, this really kind of brings across that, like, this is sort of like what we're like supposedly going to be traveling, like, go forward into the future across decades and centuries, and like that. It's kind of like a private eye thing. He's like, he's got the case and he solves it. Sometimes it might be a mystery, sometimes it might be fighting a demon. Sometimes it might be like a little heartwarming little like thing about this, like a little kind of a shaggy dog story. We just got this kind of winds up being.
Yeah, and it's about those kind of connections that you build up in it, because the guy who commissioned him to investigate this haunted painting was kind of like, he's like, yeah, it's not haunted, it's just a weird set of coincidences. He's like, oh, cool. It's like, and he's like sharing a drink with him. He's like, you like a bit of drink? He's like, yeah, like 1 or 2 at night. It's like, cool. Do you want to hang out and drink more? It's like, Ginny's like, yeah, sounds cool. So I'm guessing this is another connection that he's going to go on with. Yeah, it's a really interesting one. It's building up this kind of interconnected world, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was really apparent to me, like in just I don't know why it only kind of struck me now about, like, you know, just like when they go to the soba shop and saying, what they're going to have, Kycillia, it's all you sell, so just give me a bowl. But kind of the way they kind of move about that space and poke out is like, you know, it feels like if it'd be like a physical set on like in a stage play or TV show. So if it were not for the amount of like effects they would need for like demons and sword fighting with magic and stuff like that, this would be totally a J drama adaptation. You know, if they'd have all the period costumes, have all the period sets, but just like it would be like a J drama thing, because it was kind of like gentle. The last 2 stories have been, they feel very in that mold.
And very much so, like the fighting hasn't really been what I'm here for. It's kind of like that interconnected stuff. So if they figured out some way of doing like a stage version of a weird slime demon, and then just like you cut it down immediately, and it's just like, that would be grand, because it's just like, ooh, there's the interesting special effect, but we're not here for the stage combat. We're here for the character drama between
monster fighting comes up, but it seems to be dictated.
It's not the important part.
And we don't seem to be getting away from like this time period anytime soon, because like even the next story after this is also just like, you know, the following spring from there. So
yeah.
It's just like I should probably check and say how many books are in this series and how many we're going to possibly like adapt in a given batch of episodes here.
Mm-hmm.
Then, next on the docket is My Hero Academia Vigilantes, Episode 6, Crossing Lines, in which...
Wasn't until this episode that
It's a metaphor.
Oh, I didn't... Like, we got the Deadpool and the Deadshot, and that kind of look for...
Deathstroke.
Deathstroke. I guess Deadshot as well.
But Deadshot as well. They dare to kind of favoring the mono eye, or at least showing the one eye inside of the time.
I forgot because he talked about the red side, the black side, and I was like, oh, Mr. A. Like, it's a Steve Ditko reference as well.
Yes, I
there's right and wrong.
Yeah, he's very polarized views of justice.
It wasn't until he's ranting about that in this episode I was like, oh, okay, you got some Ditko fucking stuff going on in there as well. That's cool, yeah.
Yeah, it's Soga. Is that the hedgehog?
Soga is the spiky man.
Yes. He goes to visit. Him and the other guy go visit the lizard guy in hospital.
I like how much this instantly is just like, listen, were these guys the baddies earlier on? Yeah. Are they just a bunch of fucking guys? It's like, yeah, like
they're genuine friends who look out for each other. They aren't like,
when your man pulls a pack of menthol cigarettes, it's just like, hey, could you give me a light guy who can light a fire? He's like, sure thing. And your one's like, no fucking smoking in the hospital, and they have to smoke outside the back of the bike shed, kind of thing. And just like, yeah, that nurse was really cute. It's like, maybe I should get fucked up. It's like, yeah, maybe you should, man. It's like, do you want to take drugs again and fly around? It's like, flying was cool, but then I got grabbed by a giant and slammed into a building. So no, thank you. I'm good. I could do without that in my life.
Yes, and they've all reached the sensible conclusion that it was a bad idea to take those drugs, and Soga is going to go and deal with this.
It felt good at the time, even like, the idea was like, oh, you look like Endeavor, because you're all like fucking fire coming off you, and it's like, go on with that. And it's just like, it felt good, but then the repercussions were really bad. Yes. It's just like, so maybe let's not take drugs. Okay, that seems sensible.
And so Zoga's going to give this schoolgirl who gave them the drugs in the first place a piece of his mind, but unfortunately he's been set up in a trap where she was expecting him to want more drugs and then would fight Stendhal.
Him and his 2 friends, all 3 of them, to want more drugs. And it's like, okay, you can fight Stendhal, who I've also brought. And Stendhal, he's like, I don't need any drugs to fight, because she offers him the drugs. It's like, you want to fucking survive this? He just killed a lot of mafia fucking guys, so you're going to have to drug up. And he's like, no, I'm going to take him out just with the spike knuckles. That's all I got. And it's just like, bees activate. Pump him full of drugs. And he does, and he say hedgehog, which I do like. I forgot
It's not very
hedgehog
cool at all. It's like it's stupid.
It's fine. It's like a off-brand Anguirus kind of thing. Yeah. He's so full of spikes. He's gotten like a bit fatter. Again, the hedgehog look. So yeah.
The leather pants are ready to do it. He didn't do work there.
I mean, it's the Incredible Hulk rules. Thank God his pants stayed on.
Koichi's passing and tries to save him, but can't quite get into the street in time before he too is affected by Stendhal's paralyzing, blood-licking power. So if you didn't know from the subtitles last week, you know now that he is Stain.
Or if you recognize those tongues, that's Stain's tongue.
But luckily, here's Knuckle Duster to punch some justice into Stendhal.
Again, Knuckle Duster showing up is like, you're just a slashing maniac. I'm a sensible, concerned citizen. It's like, he fucking is, though. It's weird because he's beat the shit out of people for taking drugs, but he hasn't killed anyone, so he's an improvement. But
he explains how he's going to beat him up. Throws down the wire, then explains how he's going to beat him up.
Because I'm a nice guy.
If you step over this wire, this is what I'm going to do to you. So you got a choice: step over that wire, and you'll get what's coming to you, or you can just turn away and leave. And he turns away.
He's basically he's like Stendhal's like, he's telling me his range, and he said is like, okay, so if you come at me and I step back and you miss, you're wide open. Or if I get in under your fucking head.
He's just analyzing the whole situation, and then it's like, okay, I'm gonna come at you. Ooh, I have a sudden charge, and it's like, all right. He steps over the line, clocks him. So it's like, didn't say I couldn't cross the line.
I said he couldn't.
It's my line. I'll cross if I want to.
Good stuff. And him talking about the mask as well. It's like, you get like him currently wearing a fucking mask, going like, yeah, you got some of these maniacs going out wearing masks, and they're like, I'm a Superman, like I can wear a mask. I'm not me. I'm a different guy. These guys are fucking crazy, man. It's just like, Knuckles, you can't be talking like this while currently wearing a fucking mask. Right?
Also, his illustration of that is Koichi as being the madman who puts on a mask.
Wearing the All Might hoodie, thinking he's All Might in the mirror. Yeah.
But yes, it's fun. All the words that he says, because the other thing which goes through Stendhal's head is like, if I don't step over the line, I don't have the conviction to be a superhero. And so then he realizes, oh, Knuckle Duster does have the conviction, which is why when they get into the extended brawl and paralyzes Knuckle Duster, that he doesn't finish him off because he's now had his worldview changed.
I respect you.
And so he now needs to deface his own face.
Well, I think it's interesting that Knuckle Duster probably did half the work there by destroying his nose with a massive punch at great speed of fun, saying, I may as well just do a job at this. And it kind of, I guess, in a very torturous metaphor, he's cutting off his nose to spite the world.
Yeah, and it's like the idea of like, if I cut off a prominent fucking bit of the face, that is kind of what people tend to focus on, the noses, whatever else is built around. I've destroyed my ability to wear a mask. I can't disguise who I am. I could dress like a Ninja Turtle a little bit for fun though. And again, that nearly feels like he's inspired by Knuckle Duster, like reverse kind of thing, because he's wearing the bandana looking kind of thing. It's just like,
I'm sure that went into the design of Knuckle Duster with that in mind.
But to have it done in reverse is so nice, The
show, I mean, business are going to kill Hachisko, who's again bothering me about fighting dudes and doing that. I just put a fucking knife in her head. Yeah. But they always go for that eye, and not knowing that, well, she knows a lot of bees in there that are going to take a hit for her. But...
She does smartly stay the fuck down while he's ranting about, it's like, I will become a stain on society. I'm going to leave a stain behind me. I'm currently staining the carpet. I got to come up with a new name.
Blot.
And she's like, well, that guy's fucking crazy. Thanks, bees, for catching that knife that went into my empty eye socket. Everything's still working out for her, so...
and then next week is I thought this week she was showing up, but next week she shows up.
This isn't like the end of like I suppose the mental trauma and like a mental instability as well. There's also another thing that Vigilantes kind of touches on a bit more, is like what kind of like in the kind of main My Hero Academia comic, it's like, we get a little bit of how like these villains became villains because they've had some like terrible things happen in their lives, and they're mentally broken by the trauma they've been through. but it never it kind of leaves that more a bit now, and it's like it the show is a bit more about like
what's your man's name? The Spike guy. I keep forgetting his name. Toga.
Soga, yeah, Soga.
Sorry.
Yeah.
We see Soga's background, and it's the idea that you're a small child that produces spikes out of your body. You got in a fight with another small child, and this is how your mutation manifests. And it's just like, and all the faces, they were just like, oh, you're just a little violent shit. We've words for you in our society. It's fucking criminal. And him just being like, and you can see that, like, again, a better metaphor than is often done in X-Men comics is like that could be taken as like social class or disability or something like that people judge him for, and he's automatically pigeonholed into this place in society because of his physical nature. Yeah.
It's confronting it a bit more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas in the main comic, it comes right at the end, and we're told that it happens. We're never shown that it happens.
Yeah, and you've also
in this
like
we see happen, and even when he's pumped full of the bead drugs to turn into a hedgehog, it's those emotions welling up in him. This kind of like, oh, they're judging, the people are always kind of like judging me with these kind of looks, but you know, when Crawler kind of shows up, because he was even imagining Crawler as this guy who's like, yeah, you think I'm just a villain, and Crawler's like, I heard you screaming, oh, a giant hedgehog, I guess you need to be saved. That kind of thing. Like he is a genuinely good guy, and he can see that in the end.
A chance as well for like often these villains became villains because like they made one mistake, and that's one mistake you're allowed to kind of make, and then you're from this like pigeonhole as this or labeled as this. And
you've got a criminal record.
Where is the reform there? Where is the opportunity to try and like and like again confronting us a bit more head on than just like, well, the Todoroki family really fucked up all of their children, but I guess they'll just have to live with it. And
I think again, if it was if the main My Hero Academia was better written, like I think that would come across as Endeavor's coming from a place of privilege, so his crimes get like pushed down, like society accepts those because we can fucking keep the lid on them and keep them quiet. But like this fucking Spike kid didn't have fucking stand a chance, you know. He's just like, yeah, he's going to be assumed to be a career criminal, in and out of fucking juvie, then into prison. That's just what's assumed for him, essentially. Yeah.
And I would say, in fairness to the original, it's clear that health issues forced the ending to come quicker than was originally intended.
Yeah,
that is fair.
It was definitely like, you know, we were trying to really like make this like one metaphor thing fit in the too many things, or you're trying to kind of maybe kind of like chasing, you're chasing kind of too many hairs, only catching maybe one or two of them, you know, just like you're not quite drawing it together maybe in the way you intended it. It's not a very kind of clean, like goes across all lines sort of like thesis you're kind of creating here.
I said it before, like I think what he wanted to do with My Hero Academia was he wanted to do like an entirety of Marvel Comics himself, whereas what he should have done, if it was possible, is obviously hire other fucking artists. Dear God, don't kill yourself. Like have an Endeavor spin-off comic, have like the mutant racism spin-off comic, so you can actually explain that's a fucking thing. Whereas this is like, because it's a lot smaller and more local, because they keep it within this neighborhood.
I think is why that Endeavor training, when they get put on the work experience with Endeavor, that is one of the bits which works the best, because it is so small. And clearly at that point,
it's so concentrated, and like you can see where all the characters are at. And it's much better.
And clearly at that point, Endeavor was clearly one of the most interesting characters that he found to write. Anyway, not so much for that problem in My Hero Academia Vigilantes. It's all good. It'll get better next week. I can't remember if she goes straight into giving us all the history of the universe.
The best character, is going to. I mean, it's hard to say in this fucking show, but she is one of the better characters in it.
She is a lot of
just
fun.
From sheer explaining shit that should have been explained a long fucking time ago.
Mobile Suit Gundam GQuuuuuuX Episode 6: The Plot to Assassinate Kycillia.
Kycillia's Abbey.
The K never sounds particularly
silent.
hard. Yeah, that's why it sounded just like Cilia in the dialogue.
Cobra Commander. She's kind of not rocking that anymore. So it's a minute now to kind of pick her off from the crowd of fun, saying, "Oh,
don't worry, she pops it on next week." just to make sure you know who she is. But no, she's not wearing it here. So the plot to assassinate Kycillia, the people plotting this is none of the people we've met so far. It is
Titans.
Yes, people who aren't from Gundam Zeta but are related to Gundam Zeta.
They're in Zeta Gundam.
They are, but none of these particular characters are they?
No, I get the guy Bascom, who has the little round red sunglasses. He's like one of the main leaders later on. The Titans are basically they're like kind of like the mirror of Xeon, the worst part of Xeon, where they are racist against space people and they think Earth is the best and it should be stay that way.
Right.
Yeah. So they're plotting to use the cover of the next clan battle to assassinate Kycillia, who's here. What's the conference they're here for? It is essentially unimportant to the plot, but
it's basically like she's making some connections with the company that runs this this colony. And it's like that will increase her political standing in this other fucking. It's like it's some knock-on thing. It's like I gotta fucking shake hands and grease palms, like to do some other political things. But this is an opportunity to shoot her. Is the main thing.
There's some kind of business thing, as I mentioned, that the two main companies, like the Xeon one and the Earth one, who manufacture mobile suits, and like it's some kind of trade gubbins, as essentially.
But it's trade gubbins for the excuse of this is a good. When she's here, we can fucking kill her though. Is the main
because she's never left the moon or hasn't left the moon in years.
Yeah,
just because for this reason she was someone's going to assassinate her.
And they're getting their giant, enormous, ridiculously sized Gundam into.
It's an air conditioning unit.
Yes, I was going to say
it's a giant, big fucking air conditioner.
It's
a big colony,
for the
pal.
colony.
Yes.
It's. I mean, like, what can you do? It's mostly packing peanuts. It's fine. Yeah.
This is all the sci-fi bollocks plot. The real plot is you use my Gundam, I'm mad at you. Also,
use my Gundam, and also I like that boy, and you can't like that boy because I bags them first. And also I bags the Gundam first. The boy and the Gundam are synonymous essentially. It's like yeah.
Well, Macho is having these rolling feelings of rejection from all the people in her life, so she's getting this comboed to head and back.
Yeah.
I realised now, I didn't realise watching it, that there is a clue as to what Shuji's background possibly is, because the clone cyber new type that they brought in.
Yeah, the new type. Yeah.
She also refers to the Kira, and it's like, okay, that's probably, she couldn't have learned it from anybody else apart from Shuji, or Shuji might have learned it from her. So
it's also the other weird way that they view their. In his case, he views like the Gundam as something that speaks through him, whereas she views herself as the heart of the Gundam, but the Gundam is the mobile suit as her real body.
What's a Gundam? Don't worry about that.
I assume it's a fucking Gundam, but like
they say Psycho Gundam in it, so.
They do.
Yeah. Yes. I assume that it was the big box, that the air conditioning unit that they imported in, but like just the idea that she's calling that her like real body, and it's like I can't wait to get back into my real body and get back to the Kira, which is reality for her. This is all fake. Yeah.
Yes, and she's due Murasame as opposed to for Murasame, who's the pilot in the regular Zeta Gundam.
Well, Gundam loves their number puns.
Yes. I think that's supposed to be like the indicator of which one of the cyber new type clones they've produced.
Yeah.
I only remember the one, so.
Yeah, I think the others are probably mentioned in peripheral stories,
spin-off novels
and things. Yeah.
The visual novel or some bollocks like this.
Yeah, what's the other lads they've sent who does not seem as happy that he's working with her?
The white-haired dude, I've forgotten his name now. Fuck.
Oh, Blondie. I don't know. I've forgotten his name, but it sounds like it's just also one of import because it's kind of like torturous to say.
It seemed like a pre-existing name. Why would you choose that name?
Also, that's the the fucking Chalia and his crew, they've also like got a mobile suit on order. The Kikaroga, which was like a design sheet for it was meant to show up in the original series, something like that. Meant to be kind of Shar's final one, but this never got made. I thought, oh, how cute! You're gonna like put it on the TV in your Mobile Suit Gundam thing.
It was never made in that, but now we're years on from that, so now it has been made. Yeah.
But the officer who like delivers that in the news of what's going on and about that now, it's like it's like very much like like the whole like Xeon uniform with the kind of helmet with the crest in it there, but it's like it would be like the school marm in the World Masterpiece Theater show.
She's from original Gundam.
Must be original Gundam because you got one of those faces. You don't fit in with the rest of the cast here, too. You must be from an older show.
I like the stuff with what's the pilot who's on the colony, like looking for clues, but also he's clearly
Xavier, who's essentially spying on Chalia.
He's spying on Charlie Bull, and your man, like his informant on the train, is like, yeah, fucking dude, you were followed. Like, look to your left. Like, there's a very obvious, like, fucking spy dude in the next carriage. Is like, yeah, like we got to get to. Charlie Bull's probably planning on assassinating Kycillia, and he's like, fucking what? And Chalia does save him from getting assassinated himself with a fucking jetpack and a sniper rifle.
Yes.
Wow, what a cool guy! And he's like, I can't trust him though, because he's too cool to trust.
Well, no, he's like, can I bring myself to kill him if I have to?
He's got a jetpack and a sniper rifle. You're fucked, buddy. He's too cool.
Well, I watched next week's episode. I think there's a clear line after you watch next week's episode of where this story is going.
Yeah. Okay.
And that line is definitely part of that heading to where this is going to go towards. Because you don't say that sort of line if you're not going to have to try and kill him at some point in the future.
You give it a damn good
Yeah.
Yeah, so they've smuggled their giant robot in and they're planning to kill it. My favourite bit, though, is the bit where the driver asks Diane
about the
present
she's
for his
having a tough time. Her best friend, like, she just had to go at the sparkle, and I had to go to Gundam, and I killed a guy, and it was really cool. You wanted like cheering, I was like, "What the fuck are you doing to my Gundam? Quick, give me your fucking suit. I'm all sweaty, but I need to change into it so they think I was the one piloting that thing." And so her best friend has called her out, and she's like, well, what's the deal? And yeah, the guy is like, can I take you out for noodles rather than doing this illegal delivery thing? It's like, what do I get my daughter for her bar mitzvah or whatever the fuck is it, or just her birthday or something? I think it is.
Sure. But what could be a bat mitzvah? Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, what do girls like? And she's just there. I'm just trying to eat these noodles as quickly as possible before you realize I don't have a fucking clue what girls like.
But like she's probably feeling very actualized right now. One saying, can pilot a robot, can take a human life, can offer advice about gift giving, and I go, people come asking me the questions.
I'm a whole rounded person.
Yeah.
It's like, but the best thing is like his dialogue is everything he says is a clear indicator of why he'd having to be asking these questions in the first place. Because it's like, what are you saving your money for? Don't say you dream.
And it's like when you, what should I get her for her birthday? Don't say fucking money. And she's like, people like money, man. Like, it's just like he's downplaying everything. It's like, yeah, this is why your daughter fucking hates you, dude. I don't know. I've never met her, but I know that's the fucking case because you're a prick.
Yeah, and it underlines that when like Nyan goes back to her flat and it's this festoon with notes and on a calendar, sending an application for citizenships for personal residence. Like by now, fucking he was like the one slips all the bills piling up. He's just trying to stay on top of her shit. Like, I wish my dad was buying presents for me, but I don't get that anymore.
Yeah. We also do get the our main girl. She overhears the thing of we're going with the plan of the head of the Pomeranians. I want to say she met with Chalia Bull.
I know Chalia Bull from back in the day. Yeah.
Chalia Bull's like, hey, cool job with the Gundam, like, and she's like, you're not gonna kick her ass or anything. I'm gonna blow it up with this. I got a rig to explode. And he's like, no. We want you to do the next battle. You keep the money, obviously. I'm a big fan. He has all the stickers of Pomeranians on his phone. It's like, you keep the money. You just give us back the Gundam. We'll give you the reward for the Gundam. You keep the money from the fucking fight. It's like, but you're going to let us fight. He's like, yeah, it's fucking great training fucking data. Yeah, we're writing all this shit down. It's like, you're doing us a solid, honestly. And she's like, okay, we're going to betray the pilots, obviously, after the last match. Is
like,
the plan.
actually, you know what? Like, thinking of it, it's like, having stickers on the phone is like, should be a big indicator that Charlie Bull is not all there. Because we know, like, he's kind of excusing the flagrant use of a stolen military weapon, like, watching online on Twitch stream and saying, it's like, yes, this is going to be part of my plan. But, what I'm doing at Betrayal, like a conspiracy, I may as well enjoy it. So.
Yeah, he has figured that there's been 2 different people piloting the GQuuuuuuX.
Yes.
He's
like, who's the pilot? And she's like, a little girl is like, both of them. And it's like, oh, he fucking, like, he knows, like, it was a clear difference of style in that last fucking match. So it's clearly a different fucking pilot. Yes. So, yeah.
But the important thing is, though, the thing which is bothering Matcha is that Anki is also selling out the Red Gundam.
She might as well make the bounty from that as well. Like, just get paid. Yeah.
So this forces the 2 girls to reunite at the end of the episode because they need to find a new place to hide Shuji and the Red Gundam.
Shuji would be easy, but he's going to want to bring that fucking Gundam with him, so we got to find another big hole to hide him in.
Where we, the viewer, know that may not be an issue because shit is about to go down, as this is just going to be a cover for an assassination attempt.
You don't wheel out something called a Psycho Gundam and not expect something bad to happen.
I was a little bit more. I watched this a second time, and I think the Psycho Gundam thing and the Murasame, whatever the labs are called, they're just called Murasame labs, aren't they? That annoyed me so much on the first watch.
I forget.
Yeah, I get you, like, because it's a lot of reference to prior fucking stuff that I have no fucking clue of, but it's basically like all this fucking political manipulations and assassination attempts that are affecting our teenage fucking shit that's going on. It's just like that's the thing. It's our characters on the ground who we're concerned with, who are in these events despite not knowing, like me, what the fuck is going on.
Well, the longer a character goes on that way as well, it's at the higher opportunity that, like, the Flanagan Institute would be mentioned over and over, and I find that very aggrandizing for myself. So
yeah. Dear.
But yeah, on a second viewing, I was much more in favour of it because the bulk of it is the teenage angst. Because there's the stuff with the mother and the teacher,
the school teacher, like, but it feeds into as well, like, there's kind of tension about thought she was going to be kind of late. The mother turns up and she's pissed because you haven't been going to your phone study sessions like what have you been doing? And it's like, I'm getting it from Yan, I'm getting it from you, I'm getting it from everybody. I'm fucking done. I'm done.
It's again a contrast between the scene with Yan of not her father figure, a guy who is a father in her life, like asking her advice, as opposed to her mother giving her shit at the parent-teacher meeting. Like, it's kind of like her life's going shit, where the other one's like her prospects are looking up. Honestly, everything's going pretty well for her.
I just like the little bit of characterization the teacher gets is like you can tell the teacher knows that the problem is coming from the mother.
She's trying to diffuse the duality and say, no, if we can just calm down, everybody, we can sit down and talk about this.
Because the teacher's been made to wait for all, because they were about to give up. You could tell from like the body language in the silhouette.
It's like the mother's 20 minutes or something late, or like a decent amount fucking late. Like,
it's the stuff where it's just like little characterizations of people who aren't pre-existing Gundam characters is great, because it's like it's the other guy at the Pomeranians who can't bring himself to tell. He's telling Matcha to get out of the clan battles now.
Guess we don't want you anymore. Go on.
I think the other key thing is that Matcha saw where the safe with the money's kept and probably saw the code.
And
if you're looking closely, you would be able to get the combination off if you had the keypad.
Also, you could just punch like a giant Gundam hand through the wall.
That's true as well.
The fucking safe. That's an option. Like, it's a very quick option.
Big Gundam hands just going, this thing is really so tight.
Like trying to crack a nut. Yeah.
It's the Gundam stuff. I mean, it's a Gundam, but the past Gundam stuff annoys me because it's not as good as the new stuff. Which makes you think it would be better if it was just all new stuff. But we will see where it goes.
I suppose they kind of need to, because they're going to be maybe recontextualize what somebody's well-established phenomena or things there. So we need to kind of influence in. This is how it should be. This is how we did it before. This is how we're going to do it now.
Right.
And I quite like they're doing it in 12 episodes though. That's the other thing, because I think Gundam Age would have been better if it was like half the length, because that does things where it's like, what if you saw Amaru grow up to be a grandfather and see how he might possibly fuck his life up and the life of all his children and grandchildren. But 52 episodes was a little too much.
Well, maybe that's all with Witch from Mercury, that we can do this and come to a satisfying conclusion like in 26 or whatever that was, and it's fun. It turned out well. It kind of came out to a good landing, kind of running parallel to Birdie Wing, if you recall. It was like we're waiting for both of these split season sunrise shows to come to like a smooth landing, and both of them pretty much did it. So I guess they're kind of trying to we can do like even tighter, like, and do something like, get you in, get you out. It's all killer, no feather.
Also, Birdie Wing is a good comparison because it's not only like a sports thing, but lesbians. So it's got all the bases covered.
Apocalypse Hotel, episode 6. Our only vice is service, in which we must say a sad farewell to our Tanuki family. They're finally leaving the hotel after 100 years to move down the street in the new house they built.
Out of their spaceship.
I got a job here now. I can't just quit.
Yeah, it's the idea is like goodbye, and it's just like we're only down the road. Like I'm still gonna like be working here.
Yeah,
so
also,
we're cool.
We gave up trying to fix our spaceship.
Yeah.
Only for
clearly they gave up. They've been in the fucking hotel for 100 years.
But it's good. It's like, again, our worry was it's going to be them all the time. Fun saying they're still here, but if it was like, like we're going to like physically move the focus off of them to another whole building entirely, and then
the hotel when you need them for jokes and shit.
Guest. Yeah,
which is perfect. That's fine. I like them, but if it was all about them, it would be a problem. Yeah.
Yeah, and then a guy shows up who wants to destroy human civilization.
The Tanukis are initially like saying, it's like, oh, isn't there a legend of a Harmageddon that will destroy all life on Earth? And it's like, that's only a legend. Harmageddon arrives in his spaceship. He's like, I'm here to destroy all civilization. The robot's like, sorry, if you look outside, you'll notice no fucking civilization. It's like, any intelligent life? Well, we're AI robots, so we're intelligent, I guess, but we're not life. And also, it's just mammals and animals and stuff, and like it's like just animals is like to the Tanukis, like clearly in the background, kind of like they're not people, they're animals for the purposes of you destroying them. And it's like, so there's no like civilization for me to destroy. And they're like, no. So will you be staying?
I have a room then.
I have a room. I'd like to check in my suit. And then he gets out of the armor and has such a stupid, great character design.
He looks like Meow from Space Dandy. It's too much similarities.
He looks like Meow from Space Dandy if Meow was a boxing kangaroo.
Yeah, that's the important thing. Like, I did like the Tanuki dad kind of show.
And
it was
turtle
like,
shell.
Because he fainted earlier in the episode. Yeah. The dad of Tanuki had fainted earlier in the episode where he's just like, is my daughter okay? What's this fucking kangaroo doing in my way? Because initially, like, what a stupid looking thing. It's like, I guess the suit did all the power, and he punches the shit out of the dad, and he's like, oh no, he's incredibly powerful. The suit is just for show, I think.
Yeah, I thought that's what all the lasers were, but then he does laser himself later on of his own face.
Yeah.
That's something you can always do.
The suit is to keep the mood right, because like he's very powerful. He's basically a Dragon Ball character as far as I can tell. A bunch more show up in the
notorious space criminal.
Yeah. Well, he's basically Galactus. He's just shown up to kick your ass for no fucking reason other than there are asses to kick. But unfortunately, on this planet, there is no asses to kick. His first meal at the hotel is like, oh, I'd like the they give the sandworm the noodle. The noodle. It's like, I'd like the noodle, please. And it's like, we served that like 50 years ago or something like that, so you can't have that again. And he's like, I've eliminated all noodles on the if you could serve me this as my meals from now on.
The whole nest of them that you missed. Good thing I found it. We'll destroy the whole planet.
That means you've saved Earth kind of from eventual noodle destruction. He's like, I don't care.
Just make the salad, lady.
The central plot, though, of the episode is that Ponko is convinced that Yachio has fallen in love with Harmy.
She thinks there's romance going, which she keeps indicating by making a little heart thing and doing it into the camera. and I'm watching this, and the robot has one set of things, does not give a fuck about things, where he takes her on a whole new world, like fucking around the world, seeing all the sites of destroyed civilization, and she's like, how fucking dare you interfere with my day? Like, I am behind schedule on so many things, and I'm like, he's so like, I am focused 100% on destruction. I'm like, did they fall in love in the episode? I don't fucking know. I watched it. I'm still like,
it just his brusque forward manner and make it seem like he's in kind, but he was so like, you know, thoughtful to go and kill all those samurais for us. It's just like, oh, he's not like other men. I actually don't know other men because we get very few of them on this planet.
When a robot storms off, is like, how fucking dare you interfere with the schedule for the day? And she kind of like storms off angrily, and then the small child like imitates her, going like, how dare you play with her heart like that, and like storms off like a I say small child, she's like 146.
You better straighten up, fucking Harvey. You're gonna lose her. It's like, I didn't know I had her. What's going on?
Yeah, but a team of superheroes show up on the planet to kill Galactus, and they got, let me see, Caveman Thor, regular superhero guy, a wizard,
Dr. Space Strange.
Yeah, and a robot that doesn't say anything, which is ideal. Yeah, so
a very kind of Dan style, like alien exosuit that people go around in.
But yeah, they have a cool, really fucking cool battle, and at one point, Armageddon does protect the hotel from being exploded off the face of the earth by taking the hit. But it's not because he cares. No. It's just that's where he parked his suit, so he's definitely just doing it for that reason. It's a weird one, man. It's great. I love it. I love this show. He
makes his farewell, tells them, I'll be back when your civilization has reestablished itself to destroy it. And then he
shoots a laser into the ground to make the
you think it's to blow them up.
Yeah.
He's bad after all. Like, no, he's just like...
because initially when she was talking about giving him the tour of the apocalypse, and he's like, why are you drilling here? It's like, to make a hot spring, which will make our hotel more attractive. It's like, won't that only further civilization's growth? She's like, yeah, probably, I guess. He's like, it blows open the hot springs, like, make a civilization worthy of me to come back and destroy. What a romantic gesture.
Oh, man. He's so hard-boiled.
Yes.
And just get shoot with softer side.
Are those tears in Yashio's eyes, or has maybe the kettle just boiled? As then her mouth opens
it's just like, I feel something welling up deep inside, and it's like, blah, 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 like what? And the whole time you're like expecting, is like, because every episode she's learned something and unlocked a new ability, so it's like, oh, she's learned love, and it's like, no, the kettle is boiled. She has learned nothing this past 100 years. Great shit, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun, and it's just the why. And you mentioned Space Dandy this week, Niall, and that was going through my mind last week. But I was like, am I just thinking Space Dandy because there's a character who says Bebe, to the point where now they refer to that being his name.
He's been saying it for like at least 100 years, so it might as well. Like,
while stuff follows on and like, some things carry over, it feels like, what weird guests are we gonna get this week, or what bit we're gonna add to the whole of this week. It's more like, I'm gonna go do a whole other like direction with this now. We're gonna make whiskey this time. We're gonna kill sandworms this week. We're gonna like entertain this space criminal who's definitely destroyed multiple planets and is a bad dude who should be put away. But he's a good tipper.
Yeah, and superheroes show up. It's like there's like it genre jumps, not as big as Space Dandy did, but is that genre jumping from episode to episode, I think is. And the weird aliens, but who act in a slightly human way, enough human way to relate to, particularly now you've got the translation stuff going on each time.
Yes, we got enough visitors now. We got a whole like backlog of dictionary entries we can refer to.
Yeah, but it's the idea that, again, our robots are they're waiting for humans to come back, but they have no curiosity as to what happened to them and where they currently are. They're probably all dead. They're just like, no, we'll maintain the hotel. If a guy who shows up is just like, I'm just here to destroy all of fucking civilization, man. That's not what can I tell you? The lack of concern of not the plot, the setting plot of all the characters. Yes. They don't give a flying fuck about the setting plot. Yeah. It's so good.
None of them are asking, where did all these worms come from?
No, don't care. We could serve them on the menu. That's
will
their
it
concern.
impact upon the hotel service? Well, if you're trying to plan, well, that's something we should probably look into at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of fun. Then we got Windbreaker, episode 20, Night Street. Some fighting happens, and we meet another gang.
A scene of Yakuza happens, as far as I can tell.
Yes, it is just a scene of Yakuza. But then also, I like that there's another gang, and this time they're adults.
They're not even a gang. They're guys who work in a particular club. So the idea is, like, when you eventually graduate
I think it's people from across that red light district. So
that specific area. Yeah, you're right.
Which again,
but I mean, like that's like the school kids of their
Yakuza, like
it's more Yakuza video game. Yeah.
It
would be like I feel like the host club red light district thing is kind of like the Yakuza equivalent of like the student council. Here's something that shouldn't have wield this much authority in here, but somehow it does.
But when you eventually graduate from boys fighting school for boys, you can, I guess, get a job in an industry like working in the red light district, where it's basically like a 1-for-1, to the point where the school and this red light district gang were feuding at one point. So you're grand. You got a career path ahead of you. You're okay in fighting school.
But the key thing is the Speedwagon guy's name, whose name I can never remember. Mirai. Yeah, he's been taught some fighting, and he gets to use it in this fight.
One move. It's technically correct boxing kind of stuff if you can move out of your, like, that's why when you see someone bob and weave, it's like, what's the point of that? It's like, no, when you're up close to someone, close enough to hit them, it's like, that's actually very good. Like, moving out of someone's view is an excellent move, which is the only move he knows so far.
Yeah, but it was nice to kind of say, like, fun. Like, Neri, it's been fucking days now. Why your face all bust up? Are you getting fights for saying no? I thought saying it's like, he's been practicing in secret.
Yeah,
because you felt bad about being a bystander in the previous brawl.
So they were invited out tonight by our character from the last episode, Tsubaki, and they're kind of like, we can't go into the red light district, and it's like, come on, who gives a shit? I don't give a fuck about this kind of shit. And they come across a raggedly dressed
lady lands on them. Sakura.
Yeah, on Sakura specifically, and it's kind of like, hey, you look kind of beat up and stuff, and a bunch of guys show up. It's like, yeah, hand her over, and Sakura's like, oh, some cunts to beat up. All right, I don't even know what the fuck is going on here, but
3 episodes for this to happen.
But this is clearly how this is going to go down, and yeah, that's where Neri uses his one move to defend himself and the girl at one point. But obviously, our kung fu guy needs to come in and go like, that's good. It's the only move he knows, but he did a good job. I will give him that.
Yeah, it's also to teach Sakura not to have to worry about everybody.
That you can depend on your guys.
You work your side of the thugs. All right, this is we gotta have we're gonna section off this kitchen and serve these dudes up. Station.
Yeah, because it's like Suo's like, look, you don't have to look out for everybody at the same time. You can also trust the rest of us to look out for ourselves and for each other.
And even your man, like, he has been learning some fighting, so he is definitely putting the effort in. And it's just like, okay, yeah, I can depend on you guys. Because even when he's like, oh, I guess the pill bug move isn't that cool or stylish, and Sakura's kind of like, it's cool, it's not, it doesn't suck. He's like, okay, I appreciate what you're doing.
Dude fell on his face and broke his entire nose, from you going under him. So hey, that's one down. Good job.
So then another guy comes along who thinks that our lads have been hassling the woman, and he's about to fight them before everything is corrected. And he is the chairman of the Roppo Ichiza, Kanji Nakamura, and the rest of the guys from his gang show up. And we get a little description of the previous beef they had before the Bufferin were unified.
When we used to have fights with local school children. It's like, wow, real tough guys.
Yeah, but they're really big.
The tough ones, yes. the tough school children.
They're really big.
And he works at, is it Show Pub Ogi?
Yeah.
Which that turns out is where our other boy is dancing on the stage.
Pole dancing for self-defense. Let's say some Kusogaki is dissing your senpai. He's giving one of these.
Nah, dude, if you can pole dance, you're fucking jacked as shit. And I
Oh,
do not
yeah.
want to get in a fight with you. Even if there's no pole around.
No.
If there's a pole around, absolutely not.
I may have overstated the adulthood of this other gang. 2 of them are adults.
Of course.
These are all
Okay.
And only barely.
work experience kids.
Yeah.
I think while they can serve at the pub, they can't drink at the pub.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And the others are 17 and 16, apparently. So
I guess that's not too unusual. I know of guys who learned how to pull a pint of Guinness well before they could drink a pint of Guinness for like as their job. So yeah, I guess that's the way.
yes, but apparently Kanji is 18 years old.
Man, like it's impossible. All these children running the nightclubs, running the schools, running the town. What's there left for adults to do?
Well, law and order is broken down. It must be one of those foreign parts of the country that got hit hard with a tidal wave and got forgot about. It's like,
right.
We got to rebuild this ourselves, lads. The government isn't going to help us. We got to create our own laws, our own gangs.
Yeah, did we get any clue about who this other group were, who they beat the shit out of?
I feel like they introduced themselves, but they're incredibly rude. So I'm not sure we get any deets.
There's very just plain, this bunch of dudes in shirts and pants, just ganging up on them.
They're trying to steal the lead singer from a nightclub. So either they're Yakuza who really enjoy singing, or they're from a rival red light district. I don't fucking know how this shit
goons
works.
hired by a proper gang who are all proper dudes.
Yeah. Oh, your man keeps
captain.
mentioning it's like, this isn't worth the money, you know, that kind of shit. So yeah, probably hired goons.
And they hired a lot of them.
They're very cheap. They're very cheap. They go out like one hit down. Yeah.
Then we got Me and the Alien MuuMuu, episode 6, MuuMuu and the Rice Cooker. We open with MuuMuu has found the rice cooker and is sitting in it. That won't be the worst thing he does in this rice cooker by the end of the episode.
Very similar to what you just said, though. So
yes,
yeah,
very similar. He thinks it's a nice warm spot to sit because rice has just been cooked in it, and then as he's getting out, he trips on the plug and it lands behind him, and this triggers his PTSD because
she has to turn the rice cooker on again to demonstrate to him, because you can't just make the rice cooker go on again. You need to like fill it with rice. Like, here's the process of it, and he's like, no way there'd be a landmine in my girl's apartment. And it's like, my God, they put a weapon of mass destruction in the place like this, like, because he gets fucking like, there's just an outline of splattered like over 100-degree rice on the wall and an empty space of where MuuMuu was, as he's currently being hosed down in the bath.
Yes. And so his plot is rice cookers is dangerous, and it's bringing back the trauma of the devastation which happened to our planet, which we get some more flashbacks. They are clearly,
and our girl constantly having to go, hey, your cat's acting very human like there, and she's like, tell me more about induction heating.
Yes.
And meanwhile, Desimaru explains it that he's had an information overload. And so you got to be careful that he doesn't learn too much, otherwise it could kill him. Yeah,
MuuMuu's like all shaky, he's wobbly, and he's like, oh my God, is he going to get sick? And he hawks up a hairball. It's like, yeah, that's information overload. He's clearly learning too much at a time. You shouldn't have told him about like induction heating and other kinds of heating up rice at the same fucking time. That's one thing at a time. Let him learn one thing at a time.
And then he goes off to his own story where we learn that he's a train guy.
He's a little less racist because now these aren't the inferior beings on the planet. These are poor slaves. They can't help their lot in life. I pity them. Man, it's so look at them. And he sees the people cramming into the train. It's like, my God, they're obviously been taken to some work camp. There's one of these going every 5 minutes. The lives. You know, he feels bad for these pitiful fucking humans and the shit they go through. Look at these children being sold into slavery, like a bunch of children being loaded into a preschool trolley and been going like, bye, we'll see you later. And the mother going, bye. And it's like, his own mother sold him into chattel slavery. My God. Everything he views is wrong and very fucking funny, but at least he's coming from a place of sympathy now.
Yes.
So, yeah, getting there.
And then he decides to hop on one of these trains and see what the business is. I like the line about treat the cats well because they can just walk right in without a ticket.
Yeah, he walks under the turnstile and no one fucking stops him. It's like clearly the superior seats. They cram in like sardines, but the best seats are held for the cats, where he's up in the luggage compartment, like as much space as he wants. Everyone's just taking pictures, like cool, a cat on the train. Exciting stuff.
He's very interested in how the train works. It seems like he's like also looked into history of trains because he's like he knows that they've had trains longer than they've been running on electricity.
Yeah, he's doing his own research, but he's just like, but it never stops to charge the batteries. How is this possible? Did they make the train battery so powerful that it can just run forever? We need to learn this fucking technology.
And so the two things we learn about in this episode is how rice cookers work and how trains work.
They tie into each other as well in terms of talking about circuits and everything. Yeah.
Yeah,
so.
it kind of goes back and forth more than it's been doing. In the episode so far, and Sakurako shows Mumu how to cook rice without a rice cooker, so he understands that rice is not a dangerous thing that he needs to be scared of. And then they eat so much rice that he then takes a shit in the rice cooker.
Because, as I said, don't feed rice to a cat. It's bad for cats. Don't give him rice. And Desimaru learns that like he was about to be arrested by the secret police. Like there was a wild cat or a stray cat on the fucking thing. We're gonna put it in an animal shelter kind of thing. And his owner has shown up because he's seen all the posts about him on Instagram. Or I think they call it Oyster Glam or something. It's a very good one as an alternative name. But yeah, but anyway, his slave shows up to save him from these guys. So he's like, all right, I initially was disgusted by the way you bought me all these extravagant cat gifts, filled your apartment with cat toys and all this kind of thing, just trying to get him to play with the little brush thing. And he's like, all right, I'll humor you, slave, because I just pity you so goddamn much. And he taps it, and your man's just like, oh my god, he's opening up to me. He's not. He pities you. He's still racist, but he's less racist. That's the important character growth that he has gone through.
Yeah, and he's clearly the most fun character to draw.
Because I mean, like with Mumu, they do the thing of like it switching back and forth between like a far too realistic cat and like an entirely cartoon cat. When she picks him up out of the rice cooker initially, and he does the cat turning into liquid thing, I was just like, oh, that's very good. Yeah. But he's just always drawn as a realistic big shaggy cat, and it's very funny for that.
Yeah, it's pretty. He's got his face pressed up against the window, looking in the driver's cabin of the train to see how it works.
And the driver kind of like, what the fuck is this cat doing?
We also get a glimpse of the cat we've not met yet, as Desimaru is explaining the different
factions.
What different cats have been sent to Earth to do. I think intelligence is what. I assume this is the character Siberia. I can't see what else on the cast list who's got.
It's like a rabbit cat, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we see her in the credits with a character we've not met yet as well. A man in black, so to speak. Yeah, this is a fun episode, even though it has some truly terrible horrors of food hygiene involving the rice cooker.
Well, I think the next time we're just not going to fix the rice cooker. We're just going to throw it the fuck away this time. Get a new one.
Then we got the Dinner Table Detective, episode 7. There is no such thing as a completely locked room, file 1, in which our super annoying detective has been on a
Antiques
Roadshow type panel show. Where he claims he's found the Tokugawa gold, and the butler finds the batteries for the handset, so we never see what they were appraised at being.
I assumed the number was like, oh, is it going to be like appraised at 30 million? What he assumed? I assumed it was just like fucking zero. This worthless.
Yes, because we learned later in the episode that apparently they were fakes.
It was fake. Oh gosh. Oh, how about that?
I did like the panel of judges. There's one legitimate looking appraiser woman and like a magician, a scuba diver, and like a guy in a pith hat, like an explorer kind of guy.
These are just fucking like we needed to get like one expert and then like some manzai comedians just to pad this panel out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good, this is going out fucking
I
on
mean,
public
yeah,
TV.
our detective does get like called in to be on the fucking panel after failing miserably as much as you can fail on it. So obviously they're willing to take anyone on this fucking show. So yeah, you're
But
probably
given
right.
that the person he's replacing is a suspect in the murder, I'm wondering if this was all part of her plan, if indeed she is the murderer. So
Yeah.
the murder that's happened is a famous painter has been found stabbed in his
The back with a knife.
yeah.
In his studio.
In his studio, that's the word I was looking for.
It's an annex studio, so it's like it's a big room, but there's like a big long corridor from the main house to it. So it's very much so. Oh no, we would have seen him if the murderer was hiding in the room and like legged it out. Like there's no way the murderer couldn't have been like
and your
seen.
Additional for the two witnesses are she's a journalist and then like a distant relative who's staying there who's going to art university
because she's studying art. Yeah.
And then there's the wife and his son. I guess the wife is not the mother because she gets annoyed every time the son calls her mommy.
I wasn't sure that because I thought she was like the second wife or something like that.
She's the second wife and may have married
him
in for the money. But...
See, I thought the son was from a previous marriage of her, but then she keeps saying, "Stop calling me mom," and I was like, "Is that his actual son? Then what the fuck is going on with that?" It was a weird bit they had, yeah.
And he wasn't dead at the time of discovery. He dies in hospital.
It's not a locker room murder mystery. He didn't fucking die. Cut to the hospital. He's dead. Yes. And then they're like, "Oh, I can't believe my husband died." And then when the doctor leaves, it's about like, "Yes,
finally he's dead, mother." He's like, "Don't call me that."
Before he lost any sort of ability to move, he managed to point at the painting on the wall, which his son had ripped off. So
it's a big fresco of Sleeping Beauty. It's done in all this style.
He sort of ripped it off for like again, it was just like a woman in the same kind of reposed, lying down pose, for like an album or something like that, for some other piece of art, basically. And the wife kind of says, like, "Well, you know who the model?" Man's like, "Who's the model for that?" And she's like, "Oh, it's me, obviously." And it's like, he pointed to that before he died. It's a different person, actually. I'm changing my story immediately. No, he did not point to me. I don't want to be implicated in his murder. She claims it was the reporter, I think, was it?
Well, the thing of it was that the reporter is like, working close with him, doing a piece about this. Comes to the door, one night, and then, the niece answers the door for him, and then they hear, a shout from the annex, so they kind of rush down that way. And then, just afterwards, run down the corridor, then before they enter the room, they hear that ladder is, the clatter to the ground. They get into the room, and he's lying there on the floor, he's got a knife in his back, and he points to the painter, and he falls unconscious. Then finds out who could have done this. It's like, okay, well, there must be a trap door in the ceiling because the ladder came down, but no one else to be found. So maybe
the murderer was in
stabbed
the roof
him
and escaped him while he was kicked the ladder down.
Yeah, and they're gone. No, nothing up there that we can find anyway in the thing. This is to prove I'm going to fall off the ladder myself.
Yeah. So the butler, she initially says she doesn't think he would like to know her theory, and he goes, "No, you go ahead, tell me what your theory is." Her theory is that he fell off the ladder and landed on his own
knife.
His own knife. Because
that it was a terrible accident. I appreciated that initially he wasn't fucking interested in doing this thing, but then she's like, "Yeah, I mean, like you probably wouldn't be able to figure it out anyway." Like she's playing him now a little bit. He's like,
"You're correct, madame. I didn't want to hear a banal, boring theory."
But he wants her to sneak him into the crime scene so he can do something. But
because he's like, "Listen, there mightn't be a secret passage, but there'll be an obvious means of egress space, and I need to go there to see it because you can't explain to me the actual layout of the building." And you can do it because your fucking dad owns that entire fucking studio. Like, you guys have several of these paintings. You just pull one out of storage, going like, of your random pile of art shit that you have in this fucking expansive mansion of this guy's paintings.
Yeah, I think this is the first time that we learned that the dad's supportive of her career as a detective as well.
Yeah, well, they give her a mystery solving butler. Like, they're very supportive of her career.
But the problem is the stupid detective is also going back because he left something behind.
He left his hat back there, and he
That is
needs his
our
hat
cliffhanger.
to do the show.
I'm assuming that he's not pointing at the fresco because of the character in the fresco. He's pointing at it because there's a secret door behind the fresco.
Yeah, I was wondering, is it like that? Why is he painting a big fucking fresco in his own goddamn fucking studio? It's like, because the wall is removable, and you can just move that fucking fresco wall to somewhere else. So if the wall is movable, you can get in fucking behind it, kind of thing. That was my guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it crossed my mind about he fell off, but they already kind of did. It was just some guy before, so it would be disappointing if it wasn't that simple. So I got to they may have addressed that thinking that people may have, and that I did for a second there, but maybe he fell off the ladder and the ladder last night, or else could they gotten out?
I like the likely suspect seems like that woman who wasn't at the crime scene, but was none of our suspects. But it's like, but they have mentioned her, and it's like, but it couldn't have been her because she wasn't there. It's like,
well, the judge at Antiques Roadshow has now been missing since the night of the crime.
That's
and has been involved before. I mean, attached to rumors anyway of shady things involving other outfits counterfeiting Tokugawa's treasure. So she may have known the artist, trying to get some art done, but he could be a master forger of art.
Because he was apparently an excellent sculptor as well. So, yeah, if he was involved in her in terms of making forgeries, maybe she was cleaning up after herself. I was like, oh, fuck, someone discovered my forgeries, and I have to appraise them on telly. I need to fucking cut ties with this guy by, stabbing him and heading out behind the fresco. Probably. But I do like that the cliffhanger is as well. It's like, will her secret life as a detective be discovered? Will she be found out to be a debutante? Tune in next week and see if the butler can get out of this one.
So I gotta keep my stash at an eligible bachelorette under wraps at all times.
Because he's constantly trying to go out with her because she's a detective. But if he finds out that she's an heiress of a more profitable company than his shitty car company, he's definitely going to he's going to be Jeeves and Woostering all over the fucking place. Proposal.
That gives you tell the difference between the quality of this mystery and the last one. This one is from the books, so it gives you. Yeah, it's nice to have like a proper list of suspects. And for them all to be much more closely involved in the episode. Yeah, so enjoy this a great deal. That's it for another episode of Let's Go. Which is good, because I'm just about running out of energy, and also my stomach's making horrible growling noises. But Dello picked up a microphone, so I didn't really need to mention it. So
give us no gurgle there just for to sign us off.
I can't do it at will. So we'll be back next week for more of the same. Hopefully,
lots more.
Yeah, just loads more gurgling and me feeling absolutely wiped. Actually, okay. We'll be back in. We'll be back with a double episode next time because
dear,
I'm not back next week at all.
Okay.
Ta-ra for now. Bye bye.
All right. Look forward to it.
Because I'm off.